Okay, so this is basically my really speculative introductory video to um, the concept of technology. I felt that I needed to make an introduction for this topic because basically it's just so complex and vast that it really kind of needs sort of an introduction before I can even talk about technology in its current form as it exists in our world. So I've been working on some basic notes, and I've kind of extracted from various iterations of notes a little sort of background information. As kind of a disclaimer, I would just like to say that this is a highly speculative work, at least the second half. The first half is basically just about my thought process and analysis method. The second half is mainly about technology itself, and it gets really, as I said, speculative. So I'm just going to read this and see what people think about it. I've come to a realization lately about technology, but first I'll try to give a little background. I started my analysis by first attempting to define technology. I always assume that defining a complex concept like this is generally impossible, but like everything else, there is an event horizon of comprehension that can be gradually approached. Usually, when I'm thinking about abstract things like this, I find my intellectual process will penetrate the problem in phases. Typically, the deeper I go, the denser and more intricate the structure becomes. In other words, it requires increasingly more focus and energy to decode and keep track of the various elements of the design. I would describe this progression as logarithmic or exponential. One characteristic is that while realizations made early on are not necessarily wrong, they are often retroactively altered by new insight gained from a deeper analysis, occasionally becoming unrecognizable in context to the previous thought pattern. Another interesting result is that sometimes the answers you arrive at seem idiotically simple in respect to the complexity of the original question. So here's my basic conclusions post-analysis. Technology is random mutation. From a human perspective, there are really only two forces at work in the known universe: order and chaos. From a universal perspective, it's all chaos, but consciousness prevents us from viewing these things objectively. As always, we see what we want to see. The same can be said for technology. As proof of this statement, I would ask the following question. Name one technology that we have complete control over. In theory, technology is our creation. Therefore, it should be entirely under our control at all times. It should always do exactly and only what it is intended to do, and never, under any circumstances, should it impede or oppose us. The reality, of course, is far more ambiguous than that. Hundreds of thousands of people are arbitrarily sick and maimed or killed every year because of technology. Technology is not under our control. Far from it. We coexist with technology, just like we coexist with everything else. We can no more create it than we can destroy it. We assume that technology is under our control, but you can't control what you don't understand. And we don't understand technology because we don't understand ourselves, or more specifically, our motivations. So, as far as motivations, I guess what I kind of meant by that here at the end was what exactly motivates people to create technology? And it's really easy to just kind of oversimplify there and write off our motivations. It's just like, oh, we want to save labor, make our lives easier, improve certain aspects of our lives or our own functionality that we view as lacking. But in reality, I think it's a lot more complex than that. So I think the key to understanding and in partially defining technology is to actually understand those motivations. So in a sense, I think that technology is almost an illusion, and in fact what technology really represents is just an extension of our motivations. And what really are those motivations? Do they come from inside us? Do they come from a sort of universal focus of basically evolutionary natural forces that are sort of pushing us in a certain direction? So that's kind of where my thought process is going on the technology topic. What I would really like to do, and I plan to follow this up with another couple of videos, maybe a series, is basically talk about technology in its current context in our world today, rather than focusing on the sort of incomprehensible metaphysical aspects of technology. I'd like to focus on sort of the real world, more pragmatic aspects. I don't really know if there's a point to that, but I think it's probably going to be a little more productive than trying to, decode basically the universe, or reverse engineer the universe from the perspective of human impulses. So anyway, that's my basic introduction to the concept of technology. Any input is of course appreciated. Thanks for watching.